note, Jason.
Who died?
Nobody. Well, a lot of people. But tomorrow morning, June 6th,
D-Day.
D-Day. So it'll be 75 years ago that tens of thousands of young soldiers from many nations went to sleep unaware it would be their last night on Earth. So that's the greatest generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember when I was a kid, this is an unrelated story. My grandfather was in World War II, and we were up at the cabin one time, and I was going through like these old pictures. I was like, I don't know, 10 or something. And literally, he had pictures of like dead Japanese people, like in rivers and stuff. It's pretty interesting. But we've gone from that to people, as I may transition. I don't know how to have a good transition on this one.
Okay.
Well, first of all, so thanks for, good historical day for everybody. But we're going from that to people literally looking at an Angel Hernandez pitch last night that is right down the middle, pitched right down the middle. Did you see this?
Oh, yeah.
And he calls it a ball.
Yeah.
And literally on Twitter all day, I'm reading hundreds of people say that it's the catcher's fault because he lined up outside and the pitcher missed his spot.
Yeah, I saw it. I think that's why it was called a ball, because the pitcher was lined up inside and he had to go outside for it. So.
Do I have to read the rule to you?
I mean, yeah, I get it, but I thought it was a strike, but I could see why Hernandez would call it a ball because he was going off the catcher.
But you don't go off the catcher.
Well,
catchers line up. Catchers line up left and right of the plate constantly. So if you go off of a pitcher's lineup and where a pitcher lines up at, you can call a ball before the ball's even thrown.
But the umpire also lines up behind the catcher when he gets in his stance.
Okay. But
so he's down there and he's seen he usually stays on the glove. Is what the umpire does at home plate. He usually stays on the glove, and then when that thing's thrown...
This is the stupidest argument ever. Because if he stays on the glove, he sees that he's positioned... And a good umpire would see he's positioned off the plate, inside, right? And if the pitch goes outside, you mean to tell me that he can't see that ball goes right over the middle of the plate?
Yeah, I mean...
So
he should have saw
these unwritten rules of baseball where people are like, well, the pitcher missed his spot, so he doesn't deserve that strike. It drives me absolutely batty. Just nuts batty. And then people are literally on Twitter going, pitcher's fault. He missed his spot. Are you effing kidding me? So it doesn't happen very often, but back when they did intentional pitches, they actually threw the ball. There have been times where a catcher's standing up, hand out, and he steps out and the ball goes across the middle of the plate. Like we've seen it where they've called strikes or the guy hits it, right?
Right.
Going by your unwritten rule theory that you just stated there, and hundreds of people on Twitter, by the way, a majority of people are laughing at Aaron Hernandez because it was just absolutely his just horrible call, right? But going by your theory, that shouldn't be strikes. They shouldn't call it strike because you lined up behind the bat. You're lined up behind the catcher. He's standing up, his arms out. It doesn't matter if that ball goes right down the middle. It shouldn't be there. Going by that theory.
No, I thought it was a strike. I'm watching it again right now. But, I mean, where Hernandez was lined up and to where the catcher caught it, I mean...
A blind man could see that ball went right down the middle of the plate.
I mean, looking at his head position, the ball, the catcher was lined up inside the plate, looking for a high fastball. It was a low ball.
I understand.
So I mean, I could see why.
I understand the concept, right? Like, and it makes sense to me because a lot of times the catcher will line up like inside because he wants the ball inside, and then he frames it right. He'll move his glove or whatever. But you cannot be so blind to where if a ball is thrown accidentally down the middle of the plate, belt high, that you don't call that.
Well, it's a 2-0 game. You think if it was like 5-run game called a strike?
Well, here's the problem. Is what I'm getting to. It goes to my whole Cubs with the dude in the outfield, and and we can even talk about Buckner in this situation since Buckner just passed away and
rest his soul
and everything, and those things don't cost you the game or the series. In Buckner's case, like that didn't cost the Boston the World Series that year. There was a whole nother game to play.
Yeah, but you lose game 6 like that.
You're that doesn't stop. Well, that's what I'm getting at is there's unintended consequences that come from that. And the Blue Jays, who have sucked at scoring this year, score 4 runs after that pitch. Just unintended consequence right there from that pitch. So I don't blame that pitch for why they do it, but it does wreak. I mean, you can look at the pitcher's reaction. He turns around, Yeah,
he stared right at him. Then
the catcher turned around and looked at him.
Hernandez was kind of a jerk and did his little what? You want to say something?
Yeah, no.
Which I don't agree with.
I would like to see a pitcher literally just flip him off and just walk off the field because you're going to get tossed.
Have you seen the high school kids that they thought they were getting some bad calls?
And the catcher missed it.
And so the catcher missed it. It hit the guy right in the nuts, right in the throat.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, you're out of the game," because the catcher just got up and walked away with a.
He didn't even try to. He didn't even try to.
fastball. He just got up, said, "F you." I want to see that. I want to see who got Chapman for the Yankees. I want to see him just
fastball
light it up, fastball right down the pipe, and hit him right in the dick.
I get. I'm the guy that says baseball is the one sport where the strike zone is what the strike zone is, and that drives everybody batty. You know what the strike zone is, but there are variations as long as you're consistent. However, like I said, you don't want to call an outside corner pitch a strike all night long. Fine, it's all night long. It's for both teams. You don't want to be whatever, even though it's technically a strike. You don't want to call it as long as you're consistent. Fine. But when a ball is right down the middle.
Yeah, but a lot of time, though, you do go off those catcher cues as an umpire. And
that is the catcher move.
And the catcher moved a lot. He moved a lot for that to be a strike.
Because the ball was thrown wrong, but it still crossed the middle of the... If it would have been on the outside corner, I'd agree with you. If it would have been close to not being in the middle, my favorite thing is all the Yankees fans who are pissed off posting the how they do the pitch record.
Yeah.
And all the red in the strike zone, and then there's one green that's right across, in the middle. Yeah. There's got to be a way to not challenge that call. I don't want to go that far, but there's got to be a way to have the umpire say. But Angel Hernandez is also the guy that if you could challenge that and you did, he would be pissed off, and he would.
Which is why he stood up at that point in time. He as soon as the pitch was thrown, the pitcher stares. Gary Sanchez stares. He kind of did a double take, and Angel Hernandez stood right up and stared right back at the pitcher. That's Angel Hernandez. That's his MO. This
is the guy suing the league because he thinks they don't want a Mexican guy to umpire the World Series.
Yeah, surprised he's still doing games after suing the league. That's weird to me. Is that weird to you?
Yes. There's got to be okay.
What's the deal on that?
I get it's a union. CB Buckner, Joe West. There's no way a casual baseball guy like me should know umpires' names.
Right.
They're the 3 that I know. And if I see them in a game, I'm like, let's see what happens now, Because even I'm like...
Especially with baseball, they shouldn't know their names. I get it NFL because they're like, oh, here's Ed Hockley with the call.
Well, an umpire who's on TV and stuff.
They're on TV, they're talking.
But there's no way I should know these guys' names. But there's got to be checks and balances. And I understand it's a union. I understand all that stuff. It's no different than the College World Series umpire where the guy goes in. I don't remember what team now. It was a week ago.
Yeah, Louisville.
The guy goes in there, closer,
Louisville.
Two outs, whatever, throws the ball down the middle. It was probably a ball. But he said, what did he say to the guy?
He just said
he goes, "Are you kidding me?" or something.
Come on, are you kidding me? Something like that. He did it, motherfucker.
The umpire stands up. Well, he could have been talking about his pitch. He could have been talking about anything. He could have been like, oh, why did I just throw that?
I think most pitchers in that case you're talking.
I know.
Really.
But the umpire, no hesitation, stands up, throws the kid out. So now the kid can't pitch in the next 4 games because NCAA rules is you get thrown out of a game, you can't play for 4 games. So, and that's a closer. That adversely affects an umpire's egotistical attitude is adversely affecting the game. That cannot. I don't think that can be That's not acceptable.
No.
Like I said, if you miss it off the corner, fine. If you don't want to call an outside, fine. If you don't want to call it on the inside, fine. If you don't want to call a high strike, you want to call it a ball, fine. I'm okay with all that. Like, I don't even want to go to umpire. I don't even want to go to robotic umpires, which everybody's calling for, of course.
Nah.
Because there's a human element in baseball on that. But there's got to be a way where somebody buzzes into Aaron Hernandez's ear and basically says, yo.
Get that right. That's right.
Get that right. Like, you know, just get it right. It doesn't matter. But the problem with baseball umpires is what? Can't show him up. A catcher can F-bomb him and say whatever he wants as long as he's facing the pitcher. But the second that catcher turns around and says, hey, how you doing? Out of the game because you're showing the umpire up, you know? Which goes to my next... Well, it's not Major League Baseball. Minor League Baseball.
Minor League Baseball.
Do you remember the teams?
Yes, I do. Actually, remember the team.
Ninth inning.
I got the story.
Wasn't there 2 outs?
Fired up on the old thing here. I believe there was 1 out in the game.
I'll let you explain it.
So, there was a game last night between the AA Trenton team and the Hartford Yard Goats. I think Trenton's the Thundercats.
And that's Trenton, New Jersey?
I would assume so. They're the Yankees affiliate. Then you got
they're tough guys, right?
Then you got the Hartford Yard Goats. 2 outs away from no-hitter last night. Combined no-hitter for the Yard Goats, which I'll talk more on that here in a minute. But Matt Lipka came up to the plate, down 3-0 in the ninth. He decided he was going to bunt. He bunted in the ninth inning, got his hit first base. Then after the game, there was a benches clearing argument after the final out, pretty much saying, dude, that's Bush League. Matt Lipka, you can't be doing that. Like, what the heck?
So what was the score of the game?
It was 3-0.
Okay. And nobody was on.
Nobody was on.
So it was just strictly to break up the no-hitter, to try to get a hit, right? Is that the consensus?
I mean, I don't know. See, that's touchy ground. For me, personally...
This is my point.
So for me, because I get there are the unwritten rules, which MLB actually did a poll asking 14. They had 30 players. 14 said, yeah, that's fair game. 16 said no. Billy Hamilton said if it was 1-0 or 3-0, doesn't matter. You can't win if you don't score. You can't score if you don't get on base. So I'd do it. I think personally, 3-0. It is a combined no-hitter, so it's not like the same guy's out there all 9 innings. If it's the same guy for 9 innings, 3-0, like I'd be more upset. I'd be like, "Oh man, really, dude?" But then again, like,
look at how many caveats you're putting on it. This is my point right here.
Yeah, I mean,
you're putting all this thing. Like, if it was 1-0, most people would be okay with it because you got to get a guy on and try to score 1 run. If it was 10-0, most people would be against it and call it Bush League. So my point is where's that fine line?
So according to Felix Hernandez, he is a Mariners pitcher.
Yeah,
he's great.
Going to be a Hall of Famer.
Going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
probably.
Should be a Hall of Famer. They asked him. He said, "Heck no, no chance. You can't do that. It's disrespectful. You try to get a hit." So his argument is you swing the bat. Elvis Andrus, Rangers shortstop, he's against taking the bunt. He said, before the 5th inning, you're good to go. After the 5th, no. 4 pitchers, though, that's different. If it's one guy, it's good before the 5th. 3-0 in the 9th, no, that's baseball rules. You got to earn it, you got to hit it, but only if it's the same guy. So I kind of get, like, combined no-hitter, you're down 3-0. Like, if it's the same guy, I'd be like, no, come on, man, swing the bat. Don't do that. But, I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, in major leagues, I mean, even here.
Diamondbacks did
Padres
it with Bob,
and Diamondbacks, Kurt Schilling.
With Bob Brenly, the Diamondback, the Padres guy lays the butt down the third base
Ben
line.
Davis.
Cost Schilling a no-hitter and Bob...
Perfect game he was
perfect
working
game,
on,
yeah. And Bob Brenly lost his shit about it. And I remember distinctly after that game... So what was that, 2002, 2003? It was when the Diamondbacks were good.
Yeah, 2001.
It was when the Diamondbacks were real good. I remember after that game, SportsCenter came on, and whoever the anchor was like, literally they saw Bob Brenly's comments, and he goes, "What's wrong with that? It was a 1-0 game, right? It was close."
Yeah, that one was a close game.
And I remember the SportsCenter anchor going, "The guy's just trying to score a run. He's trying to do his job. Why is wrong with that, Mr. Brenly?" Like, the SportsCenter anchor was even like going, but it just, this is what... I think this is the problem with baseball. What I'm breaking it down to is I think this is the problem with baseball.
Is the unwritten rules? Nah, the unwritten rules make the game fun.
Really? So can you flip a bat? Can you not flip a bat? What's that guy's name on the White Sox? Anderson? What about Anderson, who jacks that home run against that one team, right? And then they plunk him. Okay, fine. That's an unwritten rule. You're allowed to plunk the guy afterwards. Then they plunk him again. And then the next time they play, they plunk him again.
Yeah, you only get one plunk.
Yeah, like, and so, but then it's like, okay, so the guy hit a massive home run, flips his bat, does his like arm wave, shows up the pitcher gets to plunk him, fine. A stupid unwritten rule, but fine. But then they do it 3 more times. Then the next game, like later on, like 6 months later, they do it again, and then the pitcher gets thrown out in the first inning because he does it in the first inning, and everybody's like, well, no, we're allowed to hit him again because he did it. It's ridiculous.
No, you get your one bat flip, then you get plunked. That's my rule with it.
Most players are bat flip now. Harper bat flips on a routine home run that does nothing but score 1 run, throws his bat and goes around. But
it's a big thing for him. It's a big
so he's allowed to do it.
run.
But that's the problem with it. Is what I'm saying.
No, I'm all for everybody. I am for people flipping the bat. I'm also for the pitcher hitting that person. Like if it's my team, if I watch Elvis Andrus go out there or Joey Gallo jack a 450-foot home run and he flips his bat,
but nobody.
I'm
complains.
like, heck yeah.
But nobody
I wouldn't complain. I'd be like, heck yeah, that's a bat flip. But then when he gets hit, I'd be like, he probably deserved it. He did flip his bat. On the flip side of it, somebody flips the bat on my team, like Jose Bautista did in that playoff series. Like, you son of a bitch. And I was waiting for that next year. We got to play him. And sure enough, they waited. They counted other chips. They had the guy who literally just got called up 2 days before.
That's a whole other story right there.
But they knew he was getting plucked in that game. I tried to stay in town that week. I was actually moving to Chicago that week. I got to Chicago that Thursday. Myself, so like, man, can I stay in town? And I tried to convince the ex, and she said, only if you want to get divorced. Looking back on it, probably would have ended that one a lot quicker. But I wanted to stay at that game, or for that game, because I knew there was going to be some shit was going to go down, and it went down.
But see all the things were going down. So they bring in a guy, they call a guy up specifically to go in. He's not going to do anything else.
Well, yeah, you can't make it look obvious.
How awful!
And he does it in the 8th inning. Like, hey, 8th inning, you're going to come here and plunk this guy.
I'm just saying. It's convoluted. Everybody argues. I literally spent, tells you, I had a busy day today, by the way, and I still spent at least 2 hours going through Twitter on the minor league baseball deal, on the Aaron Hernandez. What's his name?
Angel Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez is dead, sir. And God rest his soul.
And I literally spent 2 hours reading comments and just eating it up about all of this stuff today. And
see,
but here's the thing.
A problem with baseball. It's doing something right.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Am I watching any baseball tonight because of it? Any baseball tonight?
Well, no.
Am I going to watch any baseball tomorrow night? Nope.
Well, I ain't watching baseball tonight either. I'm a big baseball fan.
But that's my point, though. It's not. It's actually makes me kind of disgusted about baseball. And I'm like, I don't want to waste my time with this garbage. I'll just watch the highlights and watch everybody flip out on Twitter about it,
But that's how people get their content these days. You want to know why ratings are down. Steve, perfect example of why ratings are down, because he's looking at Twitter, getting his content from there. I do the same thing when I'm not in front of TV. Like, oh, look at Twitter. Last night, I was at home.
You watched a Phillies game with me earlier this year, Sunday Night Baseball, and the umpire missed a call. And you were like, oh, that was a great call, whatever. And I was like, he missed that freaking call or whatever. And I didn't want to watch baseball anymore.
Well, I wanted the Phillies to win that game.
I know, but I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to watch this anymore. If it's just going to be stupid like this, why am I watching it? And I do the same thing with the NFL.
Yeah, you were angry.
Where, a bad call, and I'm like, why am I even sitting here watching this garbage? Like, this isn't even, like, fun, to watch. Like, so I do it all the time. And I can't be the only one out there. Maybe I am. It's fun being at football games with Steve when there is a bad call, because there's stuff he's like, whatever. But then, like, when Steve just gets fired up, you see the blood flowing, and you just become this different cat at baseball or football games where you're like, what the fuck are you fucking doing? This is fucking egregious. You always say egregious. You love saying egregious. It's like, this is fucking egregious. You should be that guy should be fucking fired. Like, I do not F-bomb that much.
Yes, you do. It is a terrible call. You F-bomb. Like,
terrible call.
Like a sumbitch.
I pay a lot of money, as you know,
to
sit in those seats. And if I'm going to be robbed of a football game because some jack-off who thinks he's the whatever is going to waste something and waste my time, I got other things I can do on a Sunday, Jason. I got other things I can do than go to a stupid baseball game and waste 4 hours of my life watching grown men pick at their balls and spit and everything. And if I have to sit there and watch some guy like Angel Hernandez act like I'm there to see his stupid dumbass, I have a problem with it. I have a serious problem with it. I'm not here to see you guys. Do it. Do your job, and let's move on. Do I get mad at the left tackle that doesn't do his job and gets his quarterback blown up? Do I ever yell at that? I usually go, that guy missed the tackle. That sucks to be him. Do I get mad at a quarterback throwing an interception?
No. You always say defense gets paid too.
Exactly. I don't get mad about people not doing their jobs if it entails their job, but they're not robbing me of why I'm there. An umpire or an official is robbing you of why you're there.
Better help the game go. Keep the rules flowing.
Oh, there's got to be a way to double check is what I'm getting at. But speaking of football, did you see... You probably didn't see David Johnson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. The OTAs are going on right now.
Great running back.
He goes.
Is OTAs or minicamp now?
I don't even know what they call it.
I think now it's mandatory, right?
Mandatory, yeah.
Yeah, so now's minicamp, right? Mandatory minicamp?
I don't know. It's mandatory now.
Yeah. I was
confused. Carson Palmer gets told yesterday he's going in the Ring of Honor this year, and everybody's losing their shit about
after
it in
5
Arizona.
years, but winningest quarterback.
Yeah,
sister.
He blew records out. I don't understand this uproar about Carson Palmer not getting in the Ring of Honor so fast. He was the most successful quarterback in Cardinals history in a 5-year period, let alone ever.
And that's what's being heard a lot of that time, too. I mean, we went, what was that one season where he literally missed like 10 games?
I want to say he played in 60 games over 5 years.
Yeah, I think it was like 60 games.
It was a lot less. But, I mean, his stats were outrageous.
But that's still 12 games a year.
He was the quarterback of the most successful. People give Kurt Warner all this stuff. His team was 8-8 when they went to the Super Bowl. That was not a good team. They fought
in from the wild card round,
yeah. That was not a good team. But he went to the Super Bowl, so I get that. Put him in the Ring of Honor, whatever. But Carson Palmer's most successful quarterback, he led them in those Bruce Arians years where Cardinals were egregiously bad. You're welcome.
You're right.
Before that. And they were successful. The first year, they were 10-5 or 10-6, and they missed the playoffs because
of the field goal, right?
Well, no, but
the last game against the Niners, didn't the Niners hit the field goal?
No,
and they
San Francisco. That was the year I think San Francisco went to the Super Bowl. But San Francisco and Seattle both had 11 wins,
right?
Or 12 wins and 11 wins.
Yeah.
So they lost that year. Next year they made the playoffs with 10 wins, I think. You know, he never had like that bad of a season starting or whatever, and everybody's losing the crap about it in Arizona.
They had that great season when they went to the.
So I don't get the uproar on Carson Palmer,
the NFC final, but you're right at the Panthers, who they were just weren't going to be beat that year.
You know, everybody's losing the crap about it, but they did this thing before a game where they did a throwing challenge, all the quarterbacks, and the loser had to like dress. So sometimes they came out in diapers for warm-ups.
Right.
You know, Carson Palmer one time came out in a uniform, a unicorn, those half-body unicorn, blow up things. So David Johnson goes on Good Morning Football today. I believe that's on the NFL Network. Mm-hmm. And they're interviewing him, and his hat has a picture of Carson Palmer and the unicorn. Did you see this?
No.
Oh my God!
I've not seen this.
He wears a hat with the whole picture of Carson Palmer and with the unicorn blow up thing around his waist.
Can we make that? Can the Cardinals make that a hat giveaway for the?
I mean, I got a kick out of it because it's the Cardinals, but if that was anybody, I would have gotten a kick out of that. Who goes on national television for an interview and totally razzes one of their teammates or old teammates?
Oh, yeah. Solid hat.
Did you see it?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at it right
brilliant. Now. I know. I got to retweet that under the
Cardinals need to make that a giveaway for Carson Palmer Day that they're going to have. You've got to.
His Ring of Honor retirement is on the Seattle game. I don't know the dates, but they did announce it was the Seattle game. I'm okay with it. I hate Ring of Honors anyway. I really don't care,
Yeah.
I don't go to the game and go, oh, hey, Dan Deerdorf's in the Ring of Honor. He played in St. Louis of all places. Why is he on the Ring of Honor in Phoenix? So I don't care about it, but people are losing their crap about it. Even today. I
was at the game when Brett Favre went into the Packers Ring of Honor. And I didn't realize it was that. I just thought that was Cowboys game or whatever. It's kind of funny. He went in the Ring of Honor against the one team he couldn't beat. But that's another story. So, anyways,
gotta get that in.
You gotta get that dig in.
Romo's going into the Cowboys Ring of Honor this year, isn't he?
Is he? No, it wasn't him. No, not him. It's somebody else. Some other guy. It's not Romo.
Oh, I heard Romo was.
No. they did the announcement. I forgot who it was. It was a guy who was like some back end guy, front office dude. He was like, oh, he was a big part of this team.
It was a guy that gets out of jail the week before, so he's able to show up.
Yeah, he's able to show up. He'll be on parole. But
zing.
But no, I halftime came around and I was like, let me stay for the ceremony. I was like, man, this just doesn't do anything for me because these guys are out on the 50-yard line. You're sitting wherever you're sitting. You can't see them. Then you're just looking up and you're trying to get the video in the right spot. Like, oh, it's going right there where that black carpet is on the black field. Okay, here we go. Get the perfect picture. Then the fireworks go off around and you just can't get it. It's like, what the heck? That's pointless.
Well, the fans in Cardinal Stadium. The fans pull it's like red, and then the fans pull it up. So
is it the fan, or do they put family up there to do it?
Or somebody does, but it's not. It's people doing it. It's not. They don't drop it or people pull it up. Yeah, I don't get excited about that stuff at all. But I also don't get excited about it. I don't get unexcited about it. But people are losing their minds, and I literally don't understand it because, like I said, his numbers are there. Yeah, it was only 5 years. My favorite part is I do follow a few Cincinnati Bengals super fans and beat writers and stuff like that. Why, I don't know, by the way. I don't know why I follow them, but I do. And they're all in an uproar because Carson Palmer said, I wish I could have been to Arizona sooner. I'm a Cardinal. And everybody's like, what about being here, man? Your best years were here.
He's like,
And Bengals fans are losing their crap over.
They're like, they appreciate you more in Arizona, apparently. Which, that's cool. because they do. I see the thing that, they appreciate you more.
Well, because people are like, why isn't Anquan Bolden in the Arizona one? Which he is deserving. He, except for the fact that he left a very bad taste in the organization's mouth when he left, and continues to badmouth them. I guess like Jackie.
At least when Carson went out, I was like, hey, I'm retiring.
Who's a Hall of Fame Jackie? I'm sorry, it's drawing my blank. There's a Hall of Fame football player that played for the Cardinals that should be in the Ring of Honor, but he left. And left and made a mess of leaving,
right.
And so that's different. There, that's different. So I understand all that stuff, and I don't, like I said, I don't go to a game. Anybody that goes to the game is like, man, I really want to see that Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
my favorite part is all the people. Okay,
Jackie Smith.
There we go. So if you're an NFL Hall of Famer, you belong in every Ring of Honor you played on, right? Like at a minimum.
Well,
if you're in the NFL Hall of Fame, you mean to tell me you don't deserve to be in a Ring of Honor?
Yeah. Well, no. But what if you played what if he had one season here?
Emmitt Smith will not be in the Cardinals Ring of Honor.
Exactly. Like he's not going to be in the Cardinals Ring of Honor.
Jackie Smith was not an Emmitt Smith, right?
No, he was a tight end. White guy.
But he didn't just show up for end of the career one year, break his collarbone, and then never play again.
And he's labeled in the Hall of Fame under Hall of Fame inductees as a Cardinal.
That's my point.
So
he deserved, but from what I understand, I was way before my time.
He went in the Hall of Fame in '94, so I don't know.
Well,
he caught the tail end of it.
Yeah, his playing years are well before my time. He didn't play for him when I've been alive. He was in the '70s, wasn't he?
Probably, yeah. Had to have been.
Yeah. He was before they came to Arizona on there. So,
but he was also with the St. Louis Cardinals, not the Arizona Cardinals.
Well,
that's before the move.
I sat there and watched Dan Deerdorf get put in the Cardinals Ring of Honor in Arizona, and he never played for Arizona Cardinals, that's for sure.
Well, he did. Let's see here.
Dan Deerdorf went in, incidentally. He's a freaking genius. He went in the year they went to the Super Bowl, and during his ceremony, he said, the Bidwells are moving in the right direction. You guys need to support them because they will take us to a Super Bowl. Boom, we were in a Super Bowl.
So the bad taste that Jackie Smith did leave was in...
First of all, Jackie Smith's a white guy?
Yes,
I did not know that.
He's a tight end. But he was given a backup role in 1977. He announced his retirement after playing 15 seasons, 198 games, all with the kid that Cardinals contacted Smith to return, but no contract was offered. Went to 5 straight Pro Bowls, had 40 receptions in 7 seasons, tied the most seasons played in a Cardinals uniform in 15, had a string of 45 straight games with at least 1 reception. Well, then...
What was the bad blood?
In late 1978, Cowboys needed to add some depth at tight end.
Oh,
it all comes back here. After Jay Salty fractured his arm in the 4th game of the season against the St. Louis Cardinals.
know what? I take that back. Jackie Smith, F you. You don't belong in no Ring of Fame.
So, head coach Tom Landry called Smith on Monday, September 25th, looking to convince him to come back from retirement and sign with the Cowboys, the defending Super Bowl champs, might I add.
Yeah, I was. I take it back. Jackie Smith better not ever be in the Ring of Honor.
2 days later, he reported to the team to provide depth against the Washington Redskins. Although he was the oldest player, 38 years old, not many could keep up with his running ability. So the guy still had it when he was 38. He's pretty much used as blocking tight end.
The Cardinals wanted him back. Formation. So he must have had it because the Cardinals were trying to get him back.
And yeah, so then he retired again, even though the Cowboys offered him a contract.
Yeah, you leave your team to go to a rival team, like you're cut off.
Especially after your team hurts the guy.
Right?
It all just kind of came full circle right there, right?
Like, I'm not the guy. I'm like, go play where you want. Like Johnny Damon, going from the Red Sox to the Yankees, I'm like, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't do it, but I get it.
But if you look at this,
this is a little different. This was back when they hated each other.
Yeah,
this is a different era.
In 1994, Smith was voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the third tight end ever to receive the honor. He's recognized as one of the key players to help revolutionize the position.
So he retired in 78 and got in 94, and he revolutionized the tight end position.
Well, back then he did.
But my
What's
point is,
the tight end position now?
Yeah, what's
Gronk doing to the tight end position? Nothing, man. Jackie Smith did it.
Well, Gronk's going in because he totally changed the quarter. Witten's lucky he played for the Cowboys because Witten wouldn't sniff the hall if it wasn't for
Tony Gonzalez is getting in.
Gonzalez is getting. That's my point. Gonzalez and
he never played for the Cowboys.
No, but Gonzalez revolutionized. He was the first guy that went out and caught passes and stuff like that. Gonzalez changed the tight end position.
Witten's a gamer too. You don't give Witten a lot of credit. But so 2001, he was inducted into the St. Louis Walk of Fame and the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame in 2009. So will he ever get put in the Arizona Cardinals Ring of Honor?
My opinion is no after that story. I just knew he played for him for 15 years. I didn't know he went and signed for the Cowboys. This was an era where teams hated each other. They did not hang out afterwards.
Back in that era, it was straight up. I hate that player. I don't give a rat's ass, especially like the rival is like, I watch documentaries on the Cowboys Redskins rivalry.
Yeah.
And it is like the worst blood ever. Like, nowadays, these players, they'll, every year kind of stays in their division. You'll see a guy from the Cowboys, I'm going to go sign with the Redskins. And if you did that back in the day, there was a bounty on your head.
Yeah.
Back in that day.
The 72 Dolphins, right? Were 16-0 or 14-0, 12-0, whatever.
Right.
Nobody cares except for Dolphins fans. And to this day, like, they don't speak to other teams or any other players on any other teams or whatever because they just don't like them that much, So those are good old days.
You saw that a little bit when Emmett did come here to Arizona because the Cowboys, they were like, we're gunning for you, Emmett, and they hurt him that game.
Yeah, they broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
I think the players did. A lot of the fans, they knew Emmett was done. It was one of those where Emmett was done. And
it was one of those, as a Cowboy fan, it was like, really, dude? Like, why are you going there? Like, you're a Cowboy, you're done. Well, just give up.
They gave him the most money to go. That was just a money signing. I remember that distinctly. And because the Cardinals would sell season tickets. This was back when they were at Sun Devil Stadium. Sold 20,000 tickets a game.
Had all those Sunday Night Football games.
All that stuff, against the Cowboys. It was the only thing they got.
Week 3 of the season.
So that's all that was. And I distinctly remember a lot of Cowboys fans being like, he's done anyway. Let him go there, whatever. We wish him luck, and then he'll come back. Because a lot of the Cowboys fans sided with him on his holdout that one year. And they went 0 for, 2 or 3. And then
they started off
Jerry Jones was like, here's what'll it take to get you in here, man?
Let's go.
I remember that because I remember I was young. I don't remember how old. But I remember watching Monday Night Football, and at halftime they're interviewing. Cowboys are playing, and they're interviewing Emmitt Smith from his home. He's in this cozy rocking chair with a sweater on and everything. He's like, "Welcome back," and he's like, "Man, I got it. I told Cowboys know what I need. All that." And they lost that game and went 0-2 or 0 whatever it was. And then literally Monday, Tuesday morning, he's like, "Emmett signing."
Then he came back to the 1-day contract because he wanted to retire a Cowboy.
Which is what you should do.
Right.
But David Johnson, young running back that hopefully revitalizes this year after being hurt all last year, comes back and does the greatest move ever with that hat. So to sum that up there. But speaking of football, did you see they came out with the 2020 bowl season signing changes thingies for the bowls for college football?
Oh, no, I did not. They changed sightings for
they
for
changed
this
a bunch
year
of
coming up or for next year, 2020. So next year,
yeah, not
effect?
this year because this counts as 2019 this year. It's all the small ones, right? So, so basically, I mean, there's a lot of things, but there's new Power 5 conference bowl tie-ins. Going into effect on 2020, and some of them are pretty big. Las Vegas Bowl, no longer Mountain West Pac-12.
Ooh, what we got?
SEC.
Nice.
Yes.
So
it's not every year. There's certain years that they're doing it and it's splitting it, because when the Rams Stadium in LA opens up, that is going to be the Pac-12 Mountain West game at the new Rams Stadium in LA.
All right. So yeah, I pulled up a story right now. 2 days ago, it just came out with.
Yeah, it's been out for a couple of days. So
they'll get. SEC will have a new bowl lineup with the Las Vegas Bowl and the Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah, and they dropped the Shreveport Bowl, which now a Pac-12 team will be going to Shreveport, Louisiana. Congratulations.
And that's the Independence Bowl, right? Because that's what I'm saying that they dropped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
So a Pac-12 team's going to go to Shreveport now. Why? Why, I don't know. Obviously, recruiting reasons, right? Go to the Midwest there. Fenway Park is a new bowl game that they're coming out with. So Yankee Stadium has one. Now Fenway's like, hey, what better to do in middle of December when it's effing cold out than have a college bowl go?
Let's do it.
And that's going to be an AAC ACC matchup. So that's going to be unwatchable, right?
Right.
So now there's 43 bowl games total, which everybody thought there was too many before. Like I said, the new bowl game in Los Angeles will be that one, and then there's a Myrtle Beach bowl that's also coming in to make it 43. So people say bowl games aren't profitable, they should get rid of them. They're adding 3 more on top of 40.
They're super profitable.
So even though you don't see anybody in the stands, they're making money, or else they wouldn't be expanding it, and you'd see them close and stuff. So that was my main point on it. But here's the amazing thing: so number of bowl tie-ins allowed for each conference, right? American. Who's even in the American conference?
Couldn't tell you anymore.
7 bowl games.
Wow, 7?
7 bowl games. That means they usually have 7 teams qualify for a bowl in that conference. Look up who's in the American Conference for me. ACC has 11, by far the most, which makes sense. Well, them in SEC, but which makes sense because the ACC has...
SEC only has 10.
Yeah. That's right. They went backwards, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, because they lost Shreveport, but then they gained... Well,
I don't know if we're counting that for every other year.
Yeah, because they switch years. Yeah. It's not every year. But the Las Vegas Bowl isn't a high-tier bowl for the Pac-12. It's like the 4th best Pac-12 team going.
They said for the SEC it'll be 3 through 8. So Tennessee, baby, let's go. Come to Vegas. Let's go, baby.
So ACC has 11 now. Big 12 has 7. They didn't change any. Big 12 is the only one that didn't change any bowls. Like their bowls are still tie-ins are the same.
I didn't realize Big 12 only had 7.
The Big 10 is 9. They're top heavy. I don't even think they fill 7 most of the time, right? Conference USA has 7. MAC has 6, which I was more surprised by. There's 6 MAC teams that win 6 games in a year. Mountain West has 6. Pac-12 has 8. SEC has 11, and Sun Belt has 5 now, according to this. So, yeah, so that's kind of neat to see. But Big 10 is going to be in the non-SEC years, the Big 10 is going to be in the Las Vegas Bowl. So that is going to switch, which I think is great because the problem with bowl games is they got stagnant, right?
I mean, like here you usually get.
Well, the one in San Diego is the Holiday Bowl. It's like a huge Pac-12. Like, if you don't go to the Rose Bowl, you want to go to the Holiday Bowl.
Exactly, yeah.
And you always played...
And that was big for the Big 12, too. Like, back then, like, if you didn't make it to, whatever, you were in the Holiday Bowl. Like,
exactly. So it would usually be second best Pac-12 team against second or third best Big 12 team, depending on how it worked out. So we would see, like ASU played Texas one year. U of A played and got blown out by 60-0. Good job, U of A. In a bowl game on there. So I think it's great that they're changing it up because they've got a thing. So the Big 10 will participate in the Las Vegas Bowl in 2021, 2023, 2025. And then the Belk Bowl, whatever the heck that is, 2020, 22, and 24. So I think it's great that they change. I think this is a great idea to change the affiliations.
I think it's great to get more teams over in this. I mean, like, the SEC, I mean, say, let's use Tennessee, for example. Like, they get in Las Vegas Bowl. That's a trip to Las Vegas in December. Kids are out of school. What better way to go to Las Vegas, enjoy it?
If you're not
have fun, especially when you're not from that area.
That's what I was going to say.
You're not UNLV playing in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Get these guys like the problem with the Las Vegas Bowl is there was always Mountain West, right? And who was always the best team in the Mountain West? So if they weren't good enough to get in one of the playoff games, I'm talking about Boise State.
Yeah.
If they weren't big enough there, I mean, it was like every year is like Boise State goes to the Las Vegas Bowl because they're the best team in that Mountain West. So they play the fourth, fifth best Pac-12 team, and usually beat them because usually like when ASU went to there a couple years ago, Dennis Erickson got fired, so it was his last game. So like nobody cares, It's like, oh, Boise State beat ASU or whatever on there. But I think they should do more of. I guess my point on this is I think they should do more changing where every year you switch up the affiliations. But I feel like this is the test to make like big conferences. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because now you're gonna have team. Before it was you won't have people travel. The reason why an SEC team wouldn't go to Vegas before was, nobody will travel there. And I believe that bowl game is going to be in Raiders Stadium now, by the They're moving it to the Raiders Stadium.
So that'd be even bigger. So that's going to make it one of those big games now. Yeah. So, you get the Pac-12 SEC going at each other.
Or Big 12.
Or even like Big 10 Pac-12 team. Like you're going to start to see, can this thing hold its own? Is this one we're going to start incorporating into that New Year's fold now?
Because the Vegas Bowl's got to get in this New Year rotation, right?
Right. I mean, but you're not going to call it the Vegas Bowl.
No,
they'll definitely get a national title game off of it.
But you still play another bowl game in the national titles now. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like I feel like this is a test because before it was bowl games have to be regional because nobody will travel. That was the complaint.
But
about
last year though when we were talking about going. Because ASU made the Vegas Bowl, and we were debating like, do you want to go? Like, we just went to Vegas. Like, we're not going to go back to Vegas.
Well, no, that's my point, right?
That's why, like, regional kids, like, we don't. It's like, whatever.
It's like when a Pac-12 team, gets to play in the Cheez-It Bowl at Chase Field here in Phoenix, and it's like. Man, they were just here in October, playing ASU, or November playing ASU.
Cal showed up, man.
Now they're back,
Or no, it was West Virginia this year.
West Virginia and
Texas or TCU.
TCU
had the old rivalry there.
And that's the Cheez-It Bowl affiliation's changing
no,
too.
It wasn't West Virginia. It was TCU because TCU and Cal because West Virginia.
TCU and Cal, yeah.
It's one of those blue and yellow teams.
Yeah, they're changing the affiliation on the Cheez-It Bowl, which after last year sitting through that, thank God.
Hey, that final was great. That was a great ending to a game that just would not effing end.
That's so funny. I'm like, that was awful.
God, I enjoyed it.
It's bad when you turn around and like diehard alumni of like the teams on the field are like, oh my God, just stop this madness.
And we're all just like laughing. I mean, it wasn't even like stop. It was like really like this is just hysterical at this point because it was crazy. Big 10, Big 12 matchup was what it's going to be. So, they're going to Big 10, Big 12 here. That's huge.
That's a pretty big matchup. Now, it depends on, who it is or whatever. But
I don't know what all we're taking. I mean, give me Ohio State versus Texas. Need them to have really crappy years this year, but give me that.
The MAC announced on Tuesday that it will return as a primary partner for the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, along with the Big 10. So, good luck with that, MAC.
Yeah. Good effing luck.
No, but I think it's leading to, because like I said, as I was talking about earlier, was, the big thing about, like, when the BCS started, I remember one year USC had a championship game in, like, Florida, like the Orange Bowl or whatever. And people were like, people from Southern California aren't going all the way to Miami to watch USC play in a bowl game, and stuff like that. So that was the talk. And now that's all gone by the wayside, kind of, like a Pac-12 team is going to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Right.
I don't know where that is in Louisiana.
You never heard of Shreveport?
I've heard of it.
Oh, they got games.
I don't know where it's at on there, but unless it's New Orleans, there's no reason to go there.
Shreveport holds its own, man. It's like
there's no reason to go there.
It's like a higher class Reno.
You did not just sell it to me right there.
Oh,
you did not just sell it to me right there.
I thought I would.
Does it have a sign on it that says the smallest big town in America or whatever?
They got big ass hairs down there. My parents, funny story about Shreveport, actually.
Ooh.
2001.
I reckon.
2001.
You know the date?
Dale Jarrett won the Harris 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. My dad, that weekend, because Harris was the big title sponsor, they gave out little Harris playing cards for, $20, $50, whatever. My dad got, 2 of them. And him and Mom on the Monday following the NASCAR race, they decided to drive to Shreveport. They're like, we're going to Shreveport. See you kids tomorrow. I woke up that morning. They were already home because they literally went to Shreveport, spent the free 50 and lost and came on home.
Right. I know a few Vegas stories that go like that, Jason. So ACC has 14 teams, 11 bowl slots. SEC has 14 teams, 11 bowl spots. Big Ten has 14 teams, 9 bowl slots. Pac-12, 14 teams, 8 bowl slots. Big 12, 10 teams, 7 bowl slots.
Everybody gets a bowl, baby.
We're turning into NHL right now, where 90% of the league makes the playoffs.
It's turning into what the NCAA tournament is, where all these teams make the playoffs or make the tournament.
86 of the 130 Division I teams will be participating in a bowl game every year. I don't have a problem with it.
It all just depends on where it's at. Because we were last year, we went to Fiesta Bowl last year. I mean, Fiesta Bowl used to be a big thing. Like, Fiesta Bowl would sell the hell out. I think this year what hurt them, I mean, yeah, you had UCF, Florida, and then you had LSU, Louisiana, but it was also, 11 a.m. on New Year's Day here, which was brutal.
Yeah, we were all like
effing brutal.
We were like sleepwalking in there.
Whoever comes up with these schedules has to like do something about that.
What hurt the Fiesta Bowl there was UCF was in it. I mean, their fans traveled, but they don't have a ton of fans.
Yeah,
and everybody was like they're gonna get killed by
which they held their own.
And until they got killed.
Until the 4th.
Yeah, exactly. Until LSU went, I guess we should play now.
They led at halftime, 14-3.
Yeah, and then LSU went, we're here to play? So, no, I think this is leading to, call me whatever, Steve, but I think this is leading to a bigger conference deal. Kind of what the Big Ten has done, where, you got West Virginia, like, clear over here, or the Big 12.
Right.
Then you got Oklahoma and Texas down here, and you got all these teams literally
West Virginia does not fit anywhere into the Big 12.
They're not the only one. There's other ones in that conference that are way out of whack, too. So, I'm forgetting right now, but...
I think that's about it, actually. West Virginia.
There's a couple other northern ones there. There's one
Kansas
in the
South. Midwest.
Yeah, Kansas, but that's not even
Midwest,
close.
But they've always been Big 12 since, they split off from not the Southeast Conference, the Southwest Conference.
So, I mean, you're already starting to, because Boise State was going to,
Boise State was going to go Big 12.
Yeah, and then they backed out.
With that whole deal, but they backed out. A&M, they left to go SEC because Texas got their own network, and they weren't happy because they want to be the big school in Texas.
Which is why when they were doing these power conference talks, Texas squashed everything because they wanted more money in the Pac-12 than everybody else got. And the Pac-12 is an equal revenue conference, like most of them. And Texas, I mean, the thing I don't get is like, why is a school like Oklahoma letting Texas make all this money and stuff, and they're not making the same amount? Like, they should be equal partners, right? And it's not that way, and I don't understand why Oklahoma puts up with it, because Oklahoma can leave that conference and do whatever they want, right?
They probably know because Oklahoma's winning. A&M wasn't winning.
No, A&M's got... I remember that very well. A&M's got those big name boosters, like lots of money, that were like, we're better than the Big 12. We need to go SEC. Right. It's a better conference. We'll make more money. That was purely a business decision. And
they got lucky they had Johnny Football on that team the first year.
Yeah, I mean, they have done nothing since. But, I mean, that was a business and money move right there. Because they are making more money in the SEC because Alabama goes to these championship games, and that gets split between every school, and if you don't go on there. So, a type of a thing. But... so I think that's exciting. I mean, it's funny how all this football news comes out so weirdly in the middle of...
Because football is all year long, baby. They control us. They consume us. We can't wait to get more.
I'm okay with it.
I love football. And I can't wait to see... I'm going to be keeping track of the bowl rankings and hoping Tennessee falls to that Vegas Bowl. Let's go.
But it doesn't start this year, so...
Oh, yeah, next year. Crap. All right, well, next year I'm going to be watching.
The only bowl game
next year I think next year I want to be good, so... The
only bowl game I can think of for the SEC is the Capital One Bowl. What other bowls do they have?
They got the Gator Bowl.
Because in the Capital One, that's in like
the big
Florida.
One for them is like their big
the Gator
holiday bowl is the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
Atlanta. So
that's what I said.
That's like their big holiday bowl thing. Like if you make the Chick-fil-A Bowl, you're looking good.
Well, that would be more
you're
like
set
a
up for the
bowl.
future. You're like, heck yeah, let's do it.
That would be like a Rose Bowl for us out here. back when they did that stuff. Yeah, you're right. That's right. I forgot about the Chick-fil-A but they all move into these big stadiums now, and like
no, you're not filling them out. Like Chick-fil-A was at the old Falcon Stadium, now it's at the new one, and that
was the problem with the Fiesta Bowl too. And I've seen the Fiesta Bowl in Cardinal Stadium several times. But I think that's a problem too. It's just too big of a stadium. You know, it doesn't give you that college atmosphere. Like you go from Tiger Stadium in LSU, which I've never been there, but from all accounts, it's 100,000 just wild craziness or whatever, you know, and you pick them up and you take them to Phoenix, Arizona in a giant NFL stadium, which probably seats less than what Tiger Stadium seats, to be honest with you. But it's just a bigger, cavernous place than a college stadium is. It's not as rowdy. Plus, let's be honest, the fans that are super rowdy and stuff aren't traveling across the country.
Because the fans are traveling like, you know, we're rich. Let's go take vacation. And we sat next to these LSU fans where, I mean, the daddy, he's like, oh, yeah, I actually went to Tennessee. But he's like, yeah, you know, wife went to LSU. So we decided to travel, come up Fiesta Bowl. And
they were here for like a week. They were like seeing Sedona and all that stuff. Like, that's what you're going to get on those big bowl games. And I think that hurts the big bowl games more than anything. But whatever.
That's not what teams you put in there. I feel like Fiesta Bowl got the shaft last year. More ways than one.
The Fiesta Bowl
especially since the playoff thing started. Back when it was the Fiesta Bowl with before BCS era Fiesta Bowl, you were good.
I've been here a long time.
Ohio State, Texas, in your game, you're good.
I have been
Notre Dame, Ohio State.
I have been here longer than you. And I will tell you that the Fiesta Bowl takes pride in taking those weird games. Boise State, Oklahoma. You know, when Boise State won, they took pride in that. Everybody basically mocked them, like, what a crappy. And then Boise State ended up winning.
Yeah, it was a good game. That was a Statue of Liberty play.
Oklahoma was like Boise State. We could sleepwalk and beat them, right? I mean, of course, the national championship games speak for themselves.
But that game was also at night, too, when it was played.
But, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, you had some great games. You had Penn State, Notre Dame one year where Notre Dame ended up winning the championship. So you had some great games back then, but you also have a lot. Like, they take pride in, like,
they do take the crappy games,
They take pride in the UCFs coming out and giving those small teams a chance. And it drives me nuts, right? It's like, no, let's get a good game in
keep
here.
UCF in Louisiana. Like, they could have played in wherever the heck the Sugar Bowl's at, New Orleans.
I mean,
and then we could have got, whatever.
I mean, didn't we decide like that morning to go or something? Or
I remember I was 3 sheets to the wind at like 2:30 in the morning, and I see pick up your tickets from this area. Show up on my calendar because we have a joint calendar. For some reason, we're married like that. But
business stuff, Jason. Business stuff.
Yes, business stuff.
Oh, that's right. And then you were
what's this couple massage? No.
And then that's right. And you were like, "What's these tickets for?" And I was like, "We're going to the game."
I was like, "What's this? We're going to the game." Oh, all right.
I remember that.
Let's probably get home here in the next hour.
Well, that was before I knew it started. I bought those before I knew they started at 11.
I think I said, it starts at 11, right?
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I was already pretty content on not going. I'm pretty hammered.
Though there was a reason.
Happy 2019.
There was the reason why I got them was.
Well, we weren't racing that day. We're supposed to have a race that day.
Oh, that's what it was.
The race got rained out. What happened was, once that canceled, screw it. We need something to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's what, because before we weren't going. And all of a sudden it was like, nothing else to do. Let's go.
Let's go.
I remember that.
Fun, exciting times.
Except for we had to see crappy UCF.
Yeah, that's still.
And I had to listen to Jason go, national champions.
That's right, baby. National champs.
It drove me freaking nuts.
Well, they're not national champs because they lost that game. But if they would have won, they would have been national champs again. My national champs.
He's still begging for it here, folks.
You got time for an old white guy getting the shaft story from the social justice warriors?
I would love to hear a
old white guy getting the shaft story.
No, nothing goes good for him. Do we have a Yankees? We talked about the Yankees not getting a call and losing the game. Let's talk about other people that never get good things to go for them.
Well, so this is a story about Steve Blass. You know Steve Blass?
No, give it to me.
Steve Blass, Pirates announcer. Actually stepping away from the mic after this year.
Wait, who?
Steve Blass.
No. Who's he work for?
He works for the Pirates.
Okay. No.
Pirates announcer, 77 years old.
That's right.
He used to play ball. He's good.
I should have guessed you would bring this story up. I purposely ignored it.
I know. I can't ignore these stories because I just hate those goddamn social justice warriors.
Okay, well, go.
By the way, another photo appeared today of a girl on fan cam WGM for the Cubs, letting people know that she was okay, but letting the leftists know that she stands for white power. So I don't know, whichever way you want to take it. I think now most fans who were upset about that fan getting tossed out for playing the circle game, they're just throwing it up whenever the camera's on them just to do it. We saw the Young Cubs fan, was it 2 weeks ago in Houston?
Yeah, that was like an 8-year-old boy, and I saw a tweet from Jason that was like, Theo, ban this kid for life.
They got him, man. Kyle Schwarber did it after hitting a triple. He stood up and did the okay sign.
See, you get caught up in that, and I'm telling you, it worked perfectly.
Oh, it did.
It was to keep the focus off their second baseman who almost killed his wife or whatever.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it wasn't.
Finish your story about the Pittsburgh guy.
All right, so last night, 4th inning, Pirates leading 5-2 at PNC Park. Brault threw a ball inside and struck Acuna on the elbow, causing Blast to sound off on the AT&T Sportsnet broadcast of the game.
Acuna for the Braves.
Yes, Acuna.
Which, if you don't know...
Great player, Ronald Acuna Jr.
The closest thing I can describe to you, if you don't know who he is he wears jewelry like Mr. T.
He's phenomenal. Yes.
And he's a great player. And he signed for way too little than he was supposed to. But anyway, go ahead.
So after he got hit, Blast just said, yeah, I was getting ready to say, with a young player doing all that stuff and all that jewelry and all the stuff, Blast said, as his voice was trailing off. Back in the day, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Another unwritten rule here for you, Steve.
You're gonna get me all fired up again here.
That's when play-by-play man Greg Brown interjected, seemingly to interrupt the thoughts and progress. Or that was done on purpose. Hard to believe it was done on purpose. Blast said, no, I'm not suggesting that. That's why I qualified it back in the day. Both men then kind of paused, watched the replay of Acuna briefly staring at the pitcher.
Nobody is helping the guy out by going to commercial or changing subjects. It's like they're leaving him out there to hang out there.
You don't go to a commercial when the guy's walking to first.
No, but you start talking about it like, hey, squirrel. So
you're like, well, I think at that point you're like, what the hell's this old bastard?
No.
He's retiring this year. You're right.
I know.
What's this old bastard going to say?
Because there's times where you start to say stuff.
Is he about to Brockmeyer this shit?
Yeah, there's times where you're about to say stuff and I instantly change because I'm like, I don't know where he's going with this, but I'm moving along. And you got to be aware of that if you're his partner. Is all I'm saying.
So give it a rest. Think he's trying to throw at you, is what Blast said before finishing a muffled comment. So when Acuna was just kind of looking over and doing whatever.
Well, he was angry at the pitcher, like he was still yapping at him or whatever at first.
So, pretty much criticism came in. First off, it was
instantly, by the way,
by people talking about how this guy's talking about the unwritten rules of baseball and how they can't wait for Blast to step away from the mic for good. And then they went to Steve Blast versus jewelry and stuff, which instantly became, look at Steve Blast showing his inherent racism. The inherent racism is showing is what Devon at Devon, I'm going to pronounce it Devon, probably makes it racist, for real, tweeted out. Do better, Pirates. Steve Blast is a clown. So
he does. Okay.
But no, look.
He does wear too much jewelry.
He does wear too much jewelry. I get why an old 77-year-old white guy who used to play baseball back when guys didn't even wear batting gloves would say, man, that guy wears a lot of jewelry. But him wearing a lot of jewelry and
means nothing.
Him making the comment that he wears a lot of jewelry does not mean the guy is a damn racist. That's what I hate, this false racism in America.
When you're looking for it, it does. Is that an unwritten rule of baseball?
It's becoming not an unwritten rule of baseball, unwritten rule of America and society, and it's complete BS if you ask me. Everybody is crowned racism. Heck, a few weeks ago, I posted something about watching NASCAR. Oh, that's a racist sport. Everybody in NASCAR is racist. You see all the Confederate flags. I don't wear Confederate flags out to the racetrack. I did wear Country Thunder, but that was me trying to fit in, which I look good. And I got a lot of comments about that shirt that night.
Wow.
Some said, hey, I like your shirt. And I said, oh, thanks. I was just kidding. I was like, oh, all right.
Trying to fit in.
And somebody said, your shirt's racist. I was like, oh, yeah, you hear it say the N-word back there?
That's like when I wore the Y'all Need Jesus shirt to NASCAR that one morning after
After a night of drunken
Well, yeah,
shenanigans.
it was a crazy night. We'll just leave it at that. A lot of things unknown. And then so we were at Walmart and I saw Y'all Need Jesus. And I'm like, this is going to be funny. And I had more people walk up to me and be like, thank you for saying that, sir. I agree with you. The Lord is needed by everybody. And I was like, oh my God, no, this is for what I saw last night.
Oh, I was going to text you last night.
People miss. Well, first of all, if you're looking to be offended by something, you're going to find something in this day and age. I mean, the guy does wear too much. I saw the jewelry he had on, like the chains.
You're right.
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
I mean, that was a thing back in the 90s. Like, most ball players wore that stuff back in the 90s.
But it was one chain, right?
You got the one chain with the cross,
He had like
whatever.
6
Yeah,
on,
he had a
didn't
lot. He had a lot of chains.
They're all gold, so they all stood out there. It was like, what in the world?
And an old white guy's going to speak his old white guy mind. I mean, so that happens.
Yeah, I mean that's not Brockmeyer. I mean, people are going to be offended by anything these days. Some people just are, and that's fine. I mean, you don't like that opinion. The thing that cracks me up is how they run to Twitter and Instagram. They're like, oh my God, like it's like, really, Twitter's your go-to?
Well, it's the social justice warrior nation that we live in, man. That's what it is.
By the way, Raptors just won.
I saw that. 2-1 series lead.
So it's NBA series is about to get interesting because Warriors are just depleted. Like they're injured galore. Toronto might pull this off. And Jason, unconfirmed reports in Toronto say Kawhi Leonard bought land up there.
Ooh, summer house needs a summer house to stay.
And everybody's like, but he already has a place in LA. No, he doesn't. He has a place closer to San Diego. In LA, and he's had it for like 10 years or something like that. So
San Diego is getting an expansion franchise, is what you're saying?
That's actually what somebody else had said, too. That's where I was going with it.
The Kings are moving to San Diego? Yeah. Oh, my God.
That was the correlation that I heard. I don't remember where it was, but somebody else said the same thing. Like, oh, my God, San Diego's getting a team because Kawhi bought a house there 10 years ago?
I love when people look into that stuff.
Yeah, no, so NBA Finals, doesn't mean I'm going to tune in any more than I do before, which was very little or to none.
I watched the last 5 minutes Sunday, had no idea what the hell was going on.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that, where nobody was scoring. I did too, actually. I had it on.
I was sitting there, I was on my phone, like looking up. I was like, what's going on in this game? Like, this has been 30 minutes for 5 minutes, and nobody has done a single thing here. This is not riveting basketball. I almost said football.
Yeah, but the Warriors are, like I said, I told you tonight, Klay Thompson didn't play, so 3 of their good players, KD, best player in the league, or one of them. Klay Thompson was out. He's a pivotal piece of that team. And I always forget that he's got a weird name, and I always forget his name, but he broke his collarbone, so he's out for the rest of the series. So they're missing 3 guys that contribute to that team tonight going in there. And I told you, if the Raptors don't win tonight, they're in trouble because tonight
I told
you
win. If Warriors lose tonight, KD's playing game 4.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's out for the series. I don't think he's going to push it, but you might be right. I mean, if Klay Thompson isn't going to play and that other guy's definitely out, you need somebody.
You need
in
Klay
there.
or KD. That's what you need.
No doubt about that. Even if Klay is like a third of, even if he goes out there and limps around, just go limp around to the 3-point line, man, and shoot it from there. Like, you don't need a hamstring to shoot a 3, right?
I don't think so. I mean, my basketball ability is not very good, but I wouldn't think so.
I was going to say, from my couch, I have no problem shooting, sitting down on my little Nerf basket thing or whatever. So it's like, what? Type of a thing. And then hockey is 2-2.
2-2. Blues, man. Making it look good. I think we're going to 7.
I don't think we are, and I'll tell you why here. Blues won game 4 because they out-physicaled Boston. Because Boston's got the most talent. So St. Louis went into game 4 and was like, let's just beat them up. And it worked because the Chakra went out to a face to the puck, a minute and a half into the game. I mean, that ice went from white to red pretty quick in that game. My favorite part about hockey players, though, man, dude takes a puck to the face, bleeding everywhere, blood everywhere.
They would make us pass out.
Goes to the locker room, doesn't even get stitches, comes out. He's got a full facial mask on. Blood, blood's all caught up or whatever, but you could totally see this big old bruise and swollen. And I guess he broke a jaw, I was reading earlier today or something. Yeah. And just a total mess. Plays the rest of the game like nothing.
There's something else.
Still hitting guys and stuff. It wasn't like he was just skating. He was hitting guys on the board. God, hockey players. I mean,
it's all for the cup, baby.
Gotta love hockey players. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Like, I love me some hockey players.
I don't know how it is in other sports, but I did remember when the playoffs started, one of the NHL network or NBC on NHL announcers did make sure to he made a note to made a point to say, I guess, that the paychecks ended on April 15th.
Yes.
He's like, these guys aren't playing for a paycheck. This is strictly for the cup.
They're getting bonuses still.
Right.
For each
but
round they win. They get money.
But still,
whatever it is. No.
It's for the cup.
That's what sets it apart. Football players would play in the Super Bowl. No, it's the same thing with the Super Bowl, I think. They just get their paychecks or whatever.
I don't know.
But
I don't know any other sports, but that guy made a point to say, I didn't look up and see what it was. But,
well, the NFL, right? So,
but NHL, you're also not getting paid as much as every other league.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember one time when Shannon Sharp played for the Broncos toward the end of his career, and it was like one game to go, and like if they won it, they went to the playoffs, but they didn't. It was late in the game, they had to do a long drive. They had him in the huddle mic'd up, and I remember him distinctly being like, my kids want that pool, guys, let's go,
Yeah, like, give me that bonus
paycheck
money.
ends, but he needed the bonus money to get the pool, And so I think it's the same with, I would imagine it's the same with football and stuff too. The difference is I think
it's like different players that get the bonus money. Like if like in your signing, like, hey, here's what you're signing for. Here's your bonuses. If you catch for X amount of yards or pitch for this amount.
But they also make
all-star team. Do this, do that. Like, did it hurt LeBron to make the third team all-star? Did he like lose a paycheck check there for him getting third team this year?
LeBron only made $18 billion this year. But that is what sets hockey apart from every other sport is I think the Stanley Cup is the hardest trophy to win.
Oh, yeah.
And when you win it, like last year with the Capitals, I mean, it takes grown men to... Like baseball players will cry they win the thing or whatever. But in all actuality, of the... How many players on a baseball team? Of all those players,
25.
They all contribute in some way. It's not one person or whatever.
Right.
Hockey team, you have 5 lines, 3 people per line, whatever. You have 20 guys on a team or whatever. Work your butt off. They're more injured than anybody else. Upper body. We joke around about that. A guy takes a putt to any other sport. A baseball guy takes a baseball to the face. Man, he's out for 2 weeks, right?
Hey, Nolan Ryan, he stayed in that game.
That's a different era. Different era. But I mean, now a guy gets a hangnail and he's got to be out for a week or whatever.
Well, yeah,
hockey, guy's legs broken, is dangling sideways. He's like, just hold me up.
You know what they call it? They call it a lower body injury because of that reason. That's why they call it what they call it, because anybody else, like, he has a broken tibula. He is not allowed to play. And people are like, oh my God, this guy should not be playing. But you hear after series, this guy, he was playing with a fractured foot, skating around with a broken leg.
Like 10, 15 years ago, I was in Anaheim. I flew into John Wayne Airport, which is in Orange, California. And there's a bar there.
Pilgrim?
And there's a bar in that thing that the Anaheim Ducks, it's franchised. It's not owned by them. But they have a picture there, and I'll never forget this because I paid attention to it since. The beginning of the playoffs, so after the regular season, beginning of the playoffs, they had a team photo of the Ducks. This is the year they won it all.
Right.
And they had it. And then they had them winning the trophy at the end. And the difference between, because these are things I notice, the difference between the padding at the beginning of the playoffs and the end of the playoffs was guys' legs grew by 20 inches.
It was 1970s
because
NFL
they
padding.
were just getting beat up left and right. And so when they won that Stanley Cup, man, it was just padding everywhere.
And it makes it all worth it.
Just to get them out there to do it. I mean, even if you lose the Stanley Cup in the final, I mean, it's a huge honor to be there. That's why they shake hands.
But that's what makes it so great to win it, too, is, you drink the beer out of it. You get to spend a day with it. Who else do you, go with, Tom Brady's spending a day with the trophy.
Major League
whatever.
Baseball doesn't do that, right? That just goes to the...
Theo, he just went and broke his
the other,
for the Cubs.
Yeah, right. The other thing with hockey is every other sport hands the trophy to the owner. Hockey hands it to the captain of the team.
Right.
First ones to touch it, and then the players touch it long before the coach. The players have to actually hand it to the owner, the coaches, and everybody, type of a thing. And that's what makes it so special. That's why hockey is the greatest sport known to man, by the way.
Good segue before we get out of here. Speaking of owner, NBA looking to get rid of the term owner.
Okay, I have a follow-up on that because there was a big debate on something else that we kind of follow and deal with and everything. It's the NBA isn't dictating it. Steve Ballmer with the Clippers is already done it.
Oh, really?
He isn't the owner. He has a name, and I don't remember what it is. But so it's individual teams wanting to do it, and it comes from Draymond Green to a fit earlier this year about, they call them owners, it's disrespectful to us or whatever. So some of the owners, understandably so, I mean, if you hire a bunch of guys and stuff that are offended by something, you're not going to do it. So it's individual teams in NBA is it, because when they first came out, it was NBA is demanding.
Right.
It's individual teams are doing it. But so the NBA, the owners are basically part of a board of governors. Like they have equal say. So like Robert Sarver, owner of the Suns, is one of how many teams are there? 32.
Yeah, 32.
One of 32 teams, and they're all part of the board. So that's why they want to change it to governors or whatever. But Steve Ballmer has already done it, and he did it on his own. And that's the follow up on it is. So it's not as controversial as people made it sound when it first came out. But at the same time, I get why they're doing it. But at the same time, I just think it's dumb because
but the perception of it, you read stories is, complex sports. NBA teams are reportedly looking to get rid of the term team owner because many athletes complain that the terminology cultivates to a slave to master relationship between themselves and the front office. This other one looking to get rid of the word owner because of the racial, injustice on it. The insensitive racial thoughts of it. It's just what people think it is, and now if they don't get rid of it, it's like, oh, that team's racist. And that's what's going to happen.
But that happens every day anyway.
I know.
Going back to your other thing, just people are too, with the Cincinnati Bengals being all upset because Carson Palmer said, I wish I could have come to Arizona. By the way, everybody, he went to another team long before he came to Arizona.
Yeah, he was with the Raiders,
yeah,
right?
like it didn't just go from Cincinnati to here. From Aaron Hernandez or Angel Hernandez getting mad because a pitch goes on the middle and people stare at him it's like everybody, whatever happened to people on Twitter where they comment on something of yours and you respond to them and you're like nicely respond. Like, I had this happen the other day where a guy called me an idiot for some sports opinion I had. And I responded and I was like, well, I appreciate your in-depth analysis. However, I feel differently than you. The dude blocks me because he's like, you're a troll, and blocks me. And I'm like, dude, you answered my, you retweeted. Like, what?
I love seeing people blocking me.
Yeah, but it's like, it's almost like a game at this point. Like, what can I say for you? Like, how bad do I have to be for you to block me?
What can I do here?
But it's just the way it is, man. It's just if you don't agree with somebody or you think something's wrong or whatever. But, Jason, let me save your view on humanity here before we go.
All right. What we got?
There is a law in Montana that if a student rides a horse to school, the principal has to feed, water, and walk the horses. 6 seniors who were aware of this law this year rode their horses on the last day of school, and their principal did his duty and took care of the horses.
That is awesome.
Isn't that the most?
That is the most Montana thing.
That is, but that's one of those things where like the kids just stumbled upon that law, right?
Right.
Like, let's test it, right?
Like they heard from somewhere, like, oh, hey, then they Googled, oh my God.
Yeah, and then the
real.
principal was, I'm sure it didn't go down like that. Like they showed up, the principal went, damn it.
That's awesome.
I'll be out with the horses, right? Isn't that awesome?
I like it.
So, next week I'm gone. Yellowstone.
Week after that, I'm gone. Arkansas and Texas. So not as close as Yellowstone.
Unless we do a call-in show,
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, I gotta take Samantha to Buc-ee's.
Oh my God.
I talked her up on the Buc-ee's thing. I was like, hey, we gotta go to Buc-ee's.
You're overselling it. Just stop.
You've been to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but just do what you did with me and just stop there.
I know. I didn't even tell you, like, why are we going out of the way? I was like, trust me.
I know. I'm like, why are we going 40 minutes? And then we walked in. I was like, this is why we went out of the way. It's stupid.
And then you went in like, holy shit, all right.
I bought my first gas station hat.
Yeah.
So excited.
That's right. You still wear it.
I still wear it all the time. I love that thing. I need to log in and get more of those. So 2-week break, unless we do a call-in show because something major happens. And we'll be back,
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
July? June? End of June? July? One of those weeks. We'll
the week of June 17th or something.
We'll figure it out. I think somebody else might be coming in and hanging out. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yes, on there. So reach out to me if you want to see my adventures. SMAC500 on Twitter, Instagram, and whatever the other one is.
Snapchat.
Thank
you.
I will be posting a lot on Snapchat and Instagram, my pictures and stuff.
The story.
Well, I don't do the stories. I just do Well, my Snapchat, I do my story stuff.
I like the Insta story. You can add all those other things to it.
I
Makes it
know,
pretty cool.
but Instagram's more of like my picture stuff.
Right.
That's what it's made for.
You can add the pictures on the story. I don't know. People like to keep up.
Whatever. So if you want to see my adventures, it's going to be my standard, my first vacation this year. Then I'm doing another one with the kids in July.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Jason, how do they get a hold of you and follow your adventure to Arkansas?
To Arkansas, baby. Hey, y'all. Yeehaw, cowboy. That's how it is like there, right? I assume. Everybody's just... It's tornado season, I think, man. So I got to avoid the trailer parks when I'm out that way.
Then why are you going to Arkansas?
It's going to be a hectic ride.
The hardest part of going to Arkansas is just finding out which outhouse is open and available. Because they don't have indoor plumbing, people.
And no, Samantha's not my sister, y'all.
Yet.
I know we might legally change it over there. I don't know. Just to make it cool.
So,
but hit me up at Jason Carter03 on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And hit up the Main Event Podcast on Twitter at the Main Event Pod, and also on Facebook by liking at the Main Event Podcast.
My favorite part is how different we are. Like, my idea of a vacation is like Moab, Utah with Arches National Park.
You go see like stuff.
Yeah, like and you're going to Arkansas and Texas.
You're over here taking pictures of like, the Washington Monument and, what's the damn thing called with the 4 presidents on it? Mount Rushmore.
That was last summer, Mount Rushmore.
And I'm at Bucky's taking a picture of a goddamn beaver. I get the kid from a beaver. Hey, get in there, act like you like him. All right, here we go.
So that's my favorite part about this is just the difference between like you get all excited and you're going to Arkansas for obviously a personal reason, but
and then seeing the family in Texas. So.
Yeah. So I mean,
possible baseball game.
It's a little different, but I just find it funny how like I'm gonna go see the world, see new things.
Go to same old places I've been. Maybe I hit up that Cracker Barrel we stopped at last year.
The trick for me is going to be not taking the same Yellowstone pictures that I took 2 years ago when I was there. I gotta like see different things. So yeah,
it's all about the angles, baby.
Check us out. It'll be fun. Thanks for listening.
God bless you. God bless the troops, and God bless America.